Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Well, it's been a minute since we last met, given that Pesach came and some preparations for Pesach, and our family were supposed to go to Israel for Pesach, but alas, the Lord had other plans and a little bit of an Iran war, and maybe now a bit of a respite. But here we are, it's Acharei HaChag, and we're well into the Omer. Please remember to count the Omer every single day. Best way to make sure that you do so is to attend minyan each and every evening. By the way, morning is also good. But we ask you to please continue davening for Chayalei Tzvah in Israel, for Shalom Echol P'tzua Yisrael, and the safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael, even though it's a bit of a respite, things somewhat back to normal. Let's hope. Let's hope it stays that way, and let's hope that we can get back to our usual business. But now we're back to our business of learning. When we last left off, we covered the topic of Hagba and Galila. The next topic is Hakorei. Koreim Batorah B'Ta'amim. Hainu B'Menegina Sheha'uvra B'Moseres Mat'ima Es Mashmos HaKriya. So we read what's called the Ta'amim, Ta'amei HaMikra, colloquially known as a trup. And that is the specific notes that have been given over by tradition through Masorah, and they help explain the meaning of the words. And since there are no notes that are actually written in the Sefer Torah scroll itself, so therefore the one who's laning has to learn by heart what the trup and what the notes are that accompany those words. Now you know why many people don't like laning, or they don't want to do it. It's a lot of effort. It's a tremendous effort. I'm always amazed by people who are gifted at laning, and it just comes naturally, either because they're musical, they have a good memory, or perhaps best is understanding the words. So we continue. If there's no one in the shul who learned how to lane properly, doesn't know the notes, so someone could stand next to him and look inside the chumash that has the notes inside of it, the trup, and sort of feed it, whisper it to the person laning. And this way, the person can lane it as appropriately as possible. If there's no one that could feed it to him, so b'diavad, again, a case where there's no other option, then one can be yotzei by just reading the words without it. We have to be very careful when we read Torah. When you have to repeat a word or repeat a phrase, that's if you read it in such a way that it changes the meaning of the word. However, if it's something that does not change the meaning, then you would not be required to repeat. Now, there's a long note here about correcting and making mistakes. By the way, people love to correct the Bal Kriya. It's always best to leave that up to the Gabayim or to the rabbi or whoever is appointed to do so, because often people make corrections and they don't know what should be corrected or not. So I'll give you an innocuous example. So we have a dikduk rule that when you have a double segol, then at a sof pasuk or nesnachta, it turns into a kamat. So the word eretz becomes haaretz if it's at the end of a pasuk. Motzi lechem min haaretz, even though the word is normally eretz. That's just a dikduk rule. So if somebody read eretz instead of aretz, or aretz instead of eretz, that is not necessarily a correctable mistake, and one wouldn't be required to do so, though the people in shul would love to jump all over him. I guess it's a good sign that people are listening, but that's a discussion for another time. But let's continue. At the outset in Torah reading, when it was created, when it was started, every person who was called to the Torah would read his portion for himself. And this way, everybody would prepare the reading for the Torah. So the Gabe would arrange in advance who would have the aliyas, and he would let the people know so that they would be able to prepare. I mean, hopefully they didn't tell you during Shachris, they told you on Monday for Shabbos. And this is how they do it in Yemenite shuls. I can't say that I've davened in too many Yemenite shuls to know this. However, already since the Middle Ages, from the time of the Rishonim, we have what's called as a Balkore or a Balkriya, a laner, someone that reads for everyone. The person who has the Ilay makes the bracha before and afterwards. And the Chazan reads on his behalf and lanes for him. So for obvious reasons, and it bases this on the Ran and the Rishonim, that if we call someone up and he doesn't know how to lane or doesn't know it, we don't want to embarrass anybody, obviously. And nobody will ever want to take an aliyah. And even worse, the people that think they know it, they don't really know it. That would be even more embarrassing. And then they'll never get an aliyah, or the Gabbai will never call on them again, and then they're going to have their feelings hurt. So this way, everybody can possibly get an aliyah, and we don't have any hurt feelings, etc., etc. But it's very important to have the Kriyas HaTorah done properly. And again, if you have the benefit of hearing a Bal Kriya who's expert and talented and audible and easy to work with, then you should just go over and give that Bal Kriya a pat on the back, give him a thanks, because it is a very, very difficult task, one that I only do Bakoshi, only if I really absolutely have to do it. Otherwise, I'm not really much of a laner, but it is a beautiful, beautiful talent to have. So show appreciation if you have the ability to do so. Well, I'm showing my appreciation to us being back here learning. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzvah G'nai Yisrael, for Shalom Melchol B'Tzvah Yisrael, safety of our brothers and sisters in Israel. Thank you so much for returning and joining our learning with us. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you here next time.